What is going on, collective? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Belligerence. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, so basically with this reading, I did not. Well, I don't really have a Basically, I'm just gonna pull some cards and see what happened. In the area that I'm in, actually, I guess I could tap into something a little outside of myself today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into the energy around me, and I'm going to see what's going on. This has to do with the Congress. There's something going on in Congress. Funding. I'm looking. Congress funding. Something about some kind of threat or something over in Israel. There's some, I don't know, why is everybody energy so focused over in Africa right now? Look like they discovered something over in Africa. Let's see what's going on with Africa right now. The government has something over there in Africa, and I don't know what they're doing over there. So let's see what they're doing over there. Just being nosy. If something classified come up, it wasn't me. Three of Swords in reverse here. There's some kind of recovery operation that's going on in Africa. So Africa could start picking up in industrialization for some kind of right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Africa isn't industrialized or modernized or anything like that, but I'm seeing more of the parts that are generally not so modernized is what I'm seeing here. You got the Ace of Swords in reverse. Yes, this is being hidden from the public, that there's some kind of effort or something to modernize parts of Africa that is indigenous, essentially, or like I want to say they are, I don't know, I guess that's the best way to put it. It's something about that. You got the Queen of Swords out here, and you got the Temperance out here. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they're definitely trying to repair something over in Africa. Maybe reestablish a good communication or good relations with Africa, something like that is what I'm seeing here. Has to do with like negotiation or basically trying to get on good terms with certain nations in Africa for some reason. They probably found something over there is the vibe I'm getting. I just get the vibe that they found something. Could have been like a technological breakthrough or something like that, and they're trying to get on good terms or something of that nature. Yeah, you got the Ace of Cups out here. Ooh, look at this. Got the Judgment card, and you got the Page of Swords out here. Yes, this is information that they don't want to get out. They're basically that. Not necessarily classified, but they just kind of don't want too many people hands and eyes on this situation or whatever it may be. But essentially, it's what I'm seeing here is that they are definitely passing out aid or something like that, or aiding African nations or African nations, and I guess repairing and modernizing and things of that nature. But there's something hidden that they're not talking about with this Page of Swords out here. What is this they're not talking about? Or what is they're trying to keep hidden about this? You got the Chariot in reverse, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles out here. Oh, okay. So basically, the vibe, it confirmed what I thought. It has something to do with that gold that they found. It has something to do with resources and stuff that they found. But it's like, basically, somebody is basically trying to repair or modernize nations in Africa because if they modernize it, it's easier for them to like deploy troops there or build military bases and things of that nature. Because right now, certain parts of Africa is very difficult to get to without being on good diplomatic ties. And I'm not talking about just North Africa. I'm talking about the entire continent of Africa. So even though, we got good relationships, let's say with Israel or, and all that, there's Gaza or whatever it may be. Right now, the main focus is they're talking about modernizing Africa. And what they're going to do is they're trying to get on good terms, trying to find out which nations will be on good terms with us so that we can build bases and have our hands in certain resources and invest in certain aspects of that nation as it grows. Yeah, this is definitely something about some kind of resource or something that they have. I think it has something to do with that gold that they found, or resources that they're tapping into and finding. You got the Ten of Swords right here in reverse. So yes, it's just like history repeating itself. It's gonna be hard because there's no because of the betrayal in the past. So that's definitely something that the African nations are watching out for. That same betrayal in the past, because that energy is definitely here. Of befriend. It's called the 4 Fs, where you find them, you friend them, the 5 Fs. Yes, my golf teacher taught me this, and it's really perverted. But he said when it comes to women, you find them. His dad taught him that when it comes to women, you find them, you fool them. No, you find them, you friend them, you fool them, you F them, and you forget them. And that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what I'm hearing, the 5 Fs. Find them, fool them, fuck them, and forget them. Find them, friend them, fool them, fuck them, and forget them. Yep. Huh. Got that Page of Cups out here in reverse, yeah. And this is an unapologetic kind of thing that they got going on. So yes, so far, the goal is to colonize Africa in some kind of way. If you could colonize Africa, do you know how much power you will have? Because you can have, military might at the center of the world, essentially. Africa is centrally located to almost every nation in the world. So essentially, that's what this is right here. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but you got Fool card in reverse, yes. But apparently, whatever negotiations is going on is being held off or held back. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with trust issues because of what happened with Africa in the past. And this time, they're not necessarily so open to just negotiate like it was in the past. Because in the past, what they would do is they would infiltrate, and then what they would do is they'll create disorder in the area. And that's something that the Africans really aren't fond of, having a foreign nation or power come in and train them to disrupt their own people and overthrow their own governments and stuff like that. You got the Queen of Cups out here in reverse. Queen of Cups out here, yes. Basically, this operation is going to need a lot of compassion and a lot of courage and nourishment. So if this is to go through, it's going to require it's going to have to require guarantee. Okay, guarantee that you don't try to overthrow the government and all that stuff, essentially. All right, let's see what else is out here. So away from Africa, health. Okay, yeah, they're experimenting with a vaccine, a cancer vaccine is what I'm seeing. It's not a cure, it's definitely a vaccine though that they're working on. More pilot. You know what? Let's look outside of the states. Maybe that'll be better. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this new technology that's getting ready to be released. Let's look at new technology, okay? Yes, my hands are really ashy. My hands are always ashy every episode. It's because I get in the shower and when I get out, I do not wash I do not put like lotion on and stuff like that. And I need to stop that. I need to stop that. Let's see. That didn't do it any better. All right, so the new technology that's getting ready to be released here, you got the Three of Cups in reverse. You got the Hangman in is that reversed? Yeah, that's reversed. And you got the Death card in reverse. Okay, so yes, this has to do with Is this a new drug that somebody is working on? This could be like the new technology is biological. It's a biological invention here. And it has to do with the immune system. Possibly, I don't know why I keep picking up on mental health. There's a mental health technology that's coming out. It's biological though. You got King of Cups here in reverse. You got the Six of Cups in reverse. And you got the Ace of Wands out here. Yeah, basically it has to do with genetics and the genome, or DNA is what the vibe I'm getting here. So let's say if you are, let's see, cold, bad advice. Okay, so basically this has to do with not necessarily narcissistic behavior, but I will say something closer to like bipolar. People who are born with certain mental disorders and stuff like that, they're working on on something biological. It's a biological advancement, not necessarily a drug, but it's almost like they're going to introduce you to like a maybe like a fungus, maybe, or like a bacteria or something like that. But this bacteria or this fungus is specifically engineered in a specific kind of way to address whatever is going on with like mental imbalances and stuff like that. Wow. This has to do with depression, anxiety. So this definitely could be like that bipolar energy where it's like you go in bouts of depression, but also you go cold on people and stuff like that, and isolation. So that has to do with antisocialism essentially. But yes, the vibe that I'm getting here is like, I don't know if it's specifically a drug that they have to grow, like marijuana, but I am seeing something. It's biological. That's the best way I can describe it, because I'm looking at the histology of it and it's moving. It's alive and it's moving. It's moving almost like a parasite. Well, not necessarily like a parasite, but it is enclosed in like a parasite. It's almost parasitic, right? Because if it was bacterial, it wouldn't have it wouldn't have skin or anything like the outer covering and stuff like that. It wouldn't have anything like that. So yes, there's something in clinical trial or that's being evaluated in possibly fungus or bacteria that can help with bipolar. I want to say like bipolar or like mental disorders and stuff like that. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. You got the Three of Wands in reverse. You got the Page of Wands. And you got the Five of Pentacles out here. Huh. Okay, so there is some kind of discovery here. But right now they're keeping it small and they're holding back this discovery that they made. Okay. So basically whatever this product was, it needed funding, and it could be lacking in funding right now, so they didn't really want to release it and let it out right now. But if they are developing it, they're continuing to develop it until some kind of finances or something is come through. Yeah. It's getting it's going to be released, and it's going to be kind of weird and whatever, but it's definitely a breakthrough, especially for those who struggle with being bipolar or having some kind of mental disorder or disease or something like that, you know. Because essentially, you know, we didn't ask to be born like this. This is who we are, or this is who they are, you know, essentially, right? Last but not least, let's look at the ops. I had this card that jumped out. It was trying to come out. Two of Swords out here in reverse. It looks like there's a nation that's working on a missile, on a specific kind of missile right now. Let's see what this missile has to do with it. The Devil card in reverse, Empress card, and the Hangman here. Okay, so it looks like it's still in development. It's still being developed. Whatever this missile is, somebody took this missile to a specific government, not American government. This new missile that's being developed, and they're right now they're looking for contract. They're looking to make a contract deal with this this new type of missile. They don't have the funding quite yet, and it's still in the development phase. But not only is it being developed, it's also being you know, there's some creative aspects to it that, let's see here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the energy, this is definitely not a gamma energy. So it's not nuclear. That's why we got the sun here. Let me know it's not a nuclear missile here. Because, you know, the sun is affiliated with gamma ray, UV light, high vibrational light, which you generally see in like nuclear fusion, okay? So it's definitely not a nuclear weapon here, okay? This kind of weapon, though, it does have a very powerful oomph to it, is what I want to call it. It has an oomph to it. It looks like it's about it has something about 4 missiles in one or something like that, or it's four of them connected as one. It's 4, but it's armed by one man. So this could definitely be like a jet with like, you know, with a special kind of missile. And the missiles that they have, it's only 4 of them can fit on this jet at a time. But also they have surface to air capability too. So this missile that they're developing, this weapon, it's ambidextrous. It can be fired from a airplane, but it can also be fired from the ground. Okay, this weapon, whatever this missile is. So actually, let me get my other cards out so we can tap into it, and maybe I can get a few more details about it, because I'm all about that science stuff, right? So maybe I can get some kind of information here. And basically what I'm doing, I'm just going to lay my cards out and just spread them out. And then I'm just going to pick some random cards, because these cards here, I can't get them to like shuffle like I want to. You know, so I'm just going to mix them all up. I feel these 2 here. Got these 2. And on camera, I got this one. Okay, these 2 are stuck together. And also, I'm going to take this one back here. Okay, these 2 here. So the rest of this, I'm going to kind of move out the way again. I just want to make sure you saw that it was randomized. It wasn't like, I got these cards and I'm going to specifically pick this. And, you know, that's not how I do things. So basically with this weapon, this new missile, let's see what it's made out of, because I'm curious to see how it works too. I'm just going to kind of lay them out here. And then these are just going to be little clues on what I can get to. You got the G note. Okay, so that ray of light, spouse gets on. Okay, spouse gets on there first. I'll throw flute. Okay, the vibe that I'm getting here with this missile, it has to do. It's not necessarily a microwave based. It has some form of light to it, but it's not microwave based. On the spectrum, it will be considered. It will be connected with the orange ray of light, which is, let's see, the yellow will be, I guess, visible light. So infrared. So is it infrared? I want to say it's infrared light. It could be infrared guided missiles, ballistic missiles is what I'm getting. Something like infrared, something about infrared light or something like that. It has something to do with infrared. But let's see here. You got the Page of Cups in reverse here. Somebody developed this, and they are very unapologetic about what they did to build this. Matter of fact, they took inspiration from an artist. So this could definitely, let's see, artist, a poet, a singer, musician. This is somebody who is very creative that they took this influence from. My bet is that they took the design from something in art. That's what it's designed after, which is common. German colors is what I'm seeing here. So this definitely could be from Germany. A new missile that was developed in Germany. Elijah. Essentially with Elijah, that gave me the vibe of something near water, possibly. Lord of Earth. Adonai Heretz. I wonder if Israel, somebody, I don't know. I see German colors, but I also see Israel out here too. So I don't know if Israel and Germany, if it was developed by Germany and purchased by Israel. That's definitely a possibility here. You got the Two of Cups out here. So Two of Cups in reverse. Let's see here. You got the first decan, cardinal point, Cancer. Hospitality. Okay. Bearded man, soul spark. First manifestation of emotion. So this also could be a missile that could be fired and transition underwater. It's like a air to underwater missile, essentially. Is the vibe that I'm getting here. Something about air to underwater. That's why you have the Cancer here with moon and lunar. So they're either that, or they could have took aspects from water, in which, you know how we enrich hydrogen, essentially. And how you separate hydrogen and ignite it and convert it into, like, fuel and power and stuff like that. That's the vibe that I'm getting. It's not necessarily a hydrogen bomb in which it's like, it's not a hydrogen bomb where it's, what I'm saying, that devastating, but it's like on a lower scale. It's like infrared. It's on a like infrared, essentially. But I'm thinking that you fire it from land or from the air, okay. So basically, you're on the aircraft, right? And you have these missiles. Now, say if you're flying over the ocean and they're giving you coordinates to where a enemy submarine is. This missile is designed to be fired so that it launches from the air. And then once it hits the water into the sea, it transitions into something else. And then it explodes at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? That's the vibe that I'm getting here. It's an air to sea missile. But there's also some that can be fired from land too. So it's designed to guard a coast, which makes sense of why Israel will have something like this, because if Israel have it, this is something, it will make sense, over there protecting the Gaza Strip. It will make sense. If you had, let's say, pirates, or if you had somebody trying to do like a hidden submarine attack or a hidden naval attack, yes, there's this weapon that's designed to do that. But also the vibe that I was getting is that it definitely has something to do with how you separate the water atoms and enrich it in order to create some kind of explosion or something like that. So I'm guessing that the infrared is designed for once it goes into the water. It's infrared beam is it's using infrared to guide itself towards the target once it's in the water. You see what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. If that makes any sense. Yes, I definitely seeing a waterway with lakes and definitely a lake is essentially is what I'm seeing here, and a bunch of rivers and stuff leading to a lake. You also have emotional restrictive, seventh house crown, second house conch. The second and the seventh house essentially is what's that, relationships? Remember? Okay, yes, it's designed also. Whatever this is, it can also hit land. Okay, so yeah, it's like an ambidextrous missile or whatever this is. I don't want to call it a bomb because bombs and missiles are even though they do the same thing. I believe they're two different. They have two different concepts, right? Where a bomb doesn't have an aviation system, but the missile does, and it not necessarily is more intelligent, but it does have the capability of adding some sort of intelligence to it. You see what I'm saying? So essentially, I'm seeing more like a missile type thing, and I'm not talking about intercontinental or ballistic missile. This is something that has to be. It's in a fixed location, whether it's on a jet or if it's on land. So essentially, it's designed to have infrared. These missiles, they have infrared on them. So by it being on the land, like say surface to air missile, it could be fired, and then let's say if you have the system locks onto a target and it launches the missile. Essentially, you can do the decoys, right? But with this one right here, the infrared locks onto that whatever it is, that infrared locks on to the actual object. Once that infrared locks onto that object, it doesn't matter what decoys you use, that's where it's going, if that makes any sense. Or there also could be the possibility of them being able to fire it and change its direction using infrared. Whereas originally the infrared is, you got two jets coming. The original infrared is on the jet. You fire it, it may move out the way, and then in the console system, you can basically the missile is going right. So that person moves out the way, and let's say they move up this way, and then you turn around and you somehow get them back in your sight. That missile is supposed to redirect, turn back around, and lock back on to that infrared that's connected to that's connected to the jet. That's essentially the vibe that I was getting. But also it has that capability with surface to air too, where you can fire it, and then if they move out the way, you still have a sonar or an infrared system that can relock onto the target and cause that missile to redirect and come to it. It's supposed to be able to do it as many times as possible. Like say you could change targets several times, but the thing is that each time the fallacy of it, each time you change the target because of aviation and because it is it's flying, let's say it's flying by, it passed the original target, it takes time for it to redirect, turn back around, and head towards the new target. So if you continuously keep dodging it, essentially it could run out of fuel or burn out. I'm not exactly sure because of the connected to the mechanics, but that's what I'm seeing here. You also have let's see, the E-note. They tested this on a testing ground, and when they fired it originally, it's something about this this testing ground where they fired it. The blast radius right here you got a danger zone blast radius, so it may hit here, but this is your danger zone right here. This is your not necessarily safe zone, but this is more of a less casual zone, less casualty zone. So say if it hit a wall, the first like 100 meters is the most deadliest part of the blast, but it affected all 500 meters. You see what I'm saying? It has some kind of effect on the 500 meters, but that first 100 meters is the vibe that I'm getting, that, you know what I'm saying? So even if it doesn't necessarily hit its target, if it explode near it and it get it within its blast radius, it would be something similar to a hit. What is this? E note. So E note, let's see. It goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B. C, D, G. C, D, E. That's the third note. That's the third chakra. That has to do with the solar plexus. So yes, this there's something about visible light in terms of this missile too. So if you are up against it as an American, something about concentrate, something not necessarily infrared to guide it, but you might can disrupt the wave particles with the infrared light, because the infrared light is going to shoot a beam. That infrared light, I believe, is a particle. But if you introduce it to waves, it's going to scatter that wave. It's going to scatter the information connected to it. So there's a possibility of just disrupting that missile altogether. If you use I believe you have to use a wave versus a particle, if I'm not mistaken. Because what happens is that, if I'm not mistaken, when you fire infrared light in the form of a particle, it's a straight line and it has to cut across waves. Those waves is going to create friction for that light to cut across, and essentially it causes it to scatter, which means that there's a disruption in the what is that? In the information system. So if I had to design something similar or around that, essentially it's best to put the like with the missiles or whatever, you're going to have to essentially the disruptor missiles, because like it can reattach on or whatever. Some of those missiles, you're going to, let's say if you got 4 decoy missiles, right? Or 4 decoys. Those decoys that you fire, it's best to add some kind of sonar or something like that on there to disrupt. I want to say ultrasonic. I want to say it's like an ultrasonic. Is that right? Ultrasonic, or is it something like some kind of particle? A particle. It has to emit particles. Particle waves is essentially the vibe here, because when that light beam comes across that particle wave, it's going to create so much friction on it that missile is going to continuously. It's going to keep going further before it gets the message to turn back around because of the friction. You know what I'm saying? So basically, if you had to fight something like this, it's best to increase the friction in which the light has to travel. And I'm not saying you're going to have to perfectly get it or whatever, but just in a general direction, whether it's an EMP or something like that to disrupt the energy around it. But you got to be careful, because you don't want to, disrupt your own jet. But that right there is, basically motivation to start putting shungite. Shungite stone, take slabs of shungite or aluminum and putting it over the covers of your jets and important aspects of like the motor and the engines and stuff like that. Because if there is an EMP attack or EMP based missile or anything like that, it may disrupt some of the system, but it may not disrupt enough to completely dismantle it. So if you want to go from an organic aspect, you can use shungite. Shungite naturally disrupts EMF transmissions, but also aluminum foil. aluminum foil over the motors, or aluminum foil over, aluminum foil in the paint or something like that. You guys know what to do. So last but not least about this weapon here, you have luxury communication. Yes, this is specifically designed to make money. Okay, so that's where the fallacy of it. And what I'm looking at is an infrared box. So yes, it does communicate through light. It's a light informed intelligence system. Light informed intelligence system. If you disrupt the light, you'll be able to modify, and you'll come out better if you had to protect yourself from it. All right, that's all I got with the new stuff that's coming out. I love y'all all. Y'all take it easy, and peace.